on.
Okay, hatboro-horsham. We're talking about Sympathy for the Devil, and I said I'd give you a few sample licks to get you started. And first of all, the chords that we're playing in the key of A, and we're using the A minor pentatonic for all those licks. This goes from an A to a G to a D. So if you put that on a looper, that's what you would play, those four chords. I sent you a wave file that you can play along with this. So I'll just give you a few sample licks, and the first one I'm going to start with is just, since this is in the key of A, we're at the 5th fret with that little E chord formation behind it, barring the 5th. String 4, fret 7 is an A note, and I'm just going to start off playing the A note through the whole progression, and then go to the next time it comes around, the next 12 bars, go A and then a G, because I'm playing a G. The G would be on string 4, fret 5, and a D when it gets to the D chord here. Play the D note at string 3, fret 7. So I'll play with this and then go through a series of licks that appear in here, where my best recollection will appear. So. To the A. So there you are. There's just some representative licks. The really important part of this is that we're playing the A minor pentatonic scale, which is this in its entirety, but we're only focused on string 5, 4, and 3. Just that little nitro zone of notes that are just 2 frets apart. And you can come up with all kinds of licks, and hopefully that gets you started, and hopefully that's a demonstrative of the type of sound that you actually hear when the Stones play it. And let's look at the licks. First one I started with was, I wanted to show you how strongly this all relates to A. It will be interesting, I know some of you that ask more penetrating questions, which I'm happy about. Why does that work so well with the G, since there's no G in the chord A? And the reason it does is just the pull of that A in this, played in the key of A, on this entire progression, that always still is a central tone, and it's always a tone that you can go to. Always is the wrong thing to say in music, the same as never. But for the most part, it's a home tone that you can find. So you should, as I've stressed enough, you should know where the A's are, and the A's are string 6, fret 5, and string 1, fret 5, and string 4, fret 7. We didn't use string 1 or string 6 because I just wanted to show you the power of strings 2, 3, strings 3, 4, and 5 at fret 5, and strings 3, 4, and 5 at fret 7, and just get all the little licks just right from there. Another thing that you will notice is it's not the big splashy licks that you hear in some pieces. Most good guitar work seems to work from simple to complex, and the complex is used sparingly. Rather, you make these expressive statements with just the short, using vibrato to express, to give expression and phrasing to what you're playing. That's what I want you to work on. That, and the first thing is the timing. That you're going to notice that timing can be more difficult than looking from the outside in until you get used to actually playing against a jam track like that, which I hope you do and have a lot of fun with. So the first thing I started out with, I just went. So that's phrase. That sounds a lot better than if I had gone, which is kind of lifeless with no expression. So I just slid that down with my ring finger, putting me into position. That I can in position to play the A minor pentatonic scale. So I slide down, and I did that through. I did that through all the chord changes. Then the second time around, I went for the A, and when I got to the G, I went up here to, not surprisingly now, the G note, which is at string 4, fret 5, a G note, which should sound good with a G chord, and it does. And I just did it with this finger because I'm not adding any other phrasing. And if I did, I would do it up into the next box up this way, which would be box 5 on your handouts or anything that you consult on the net. So I went up here to the G, and then I went down to string 3 fret 7, which is a D note, and I just finished that off with a pull off. I hit the D note, string 3 fret 7, and pulled that off to the C note at string 3 fret 5, and then finished that little phrase with the A note to complete the entire progression. And so you can work on just that timing. And then I just went to kind of mirroring what I did on one set of strings, which would be string 4 and string 3, mirrored that on string 5 and 4. And that was, which is starting up here at string 4 fret 7, that's the A note. Start with that note, that A note, down to the C at string 3 fret 5, and then to the D at 3 fret 7, pull that off, and do essentially the same thing that I did in the previous 12 bars. Then I did that very same fingering up here at string 5, which was string 5 fret 7, which is an E note now, down to string 4 fret 5, which is a G note, and then the A note at string 4 fret 7, excuse me, and then come back to the same thing that I started off with here, and then finish with the, so it comes out slowly. So you can just work with that and try to get the timing right. That's what you play against that soundtrack. Get the timing right, and then start or simultaneously work with the your expressive elements, the you know, the pull-offs and the vibrato, that type of stuff. And then I just reversed that. Now that's one thing that the beginning guitarists seem to miss, is that you are allowed to hit a string more than twice. Everybody thinks, oh, you hit that, now you got to move on. No. As a matter of fact, listen to B.B. King sometime. You know, you can just keep wailing on a string expressively, and it sounds really nice. So that's when I start here on the D note at string 3, fret 7, and I'm hitting that 3 times. Now you notice expressively once again, it's nice. You get more feeling in that when you go. I'm lifting that finger up all the. If I just keep my finger there, kind of sounds dead, as opposed to. So I'm like giving a shock to that note, and now I land it up here at string 4, fret 7. That's an A note, and I'm going to repeat that very same formation between starting at string 4 and up to string 5. And then I come down again to the string 3, fret 7, or something like that. Right? I think that's what I did. And then, and if I didn't, it's just a variation of those same notes. It can be. So what am I doing there? I'm going. That part you've got down. Now I come to the C at string 3, fret, and I hit that twice, and come up to string 4, fret 7, and then back to the C, and then C and the A again, and then back to the C and the A. You get a lot of things between 2 notes, just constantly hitting those 2 notes. And I can hit that twice. But it's expressive, it's not, it's something like that. And then I just did more of that same formation. That would be a variation. That's another variation. But I'm ending on that A. It's something with I talked about with Dave the other night. Dave, I think you'll notice here, I'm not really paying much attention to coming to that A for a finality until I get through that entire progression, because that entire progression kind of leaves you a lot of space here to end on notes other than the A. You'll find that out. You have to fool around with it. You'll see with all kinds of variations on the. And you're gonna discover your own little licks, and get your own feel. You want to get the feel and the flow of this. You know, it's very repetitive. So you get that flow, and you know, and then it's just a. And I just want you to concentrate on that little box right there. Guys that are a little beyond that, been in class for a while, yeah, you're certainly welcome to expand anywhere on this entire 6-string first formation. You can go to the second formation as well. You have. You know where that little box is down there. We're going to get that for everybody this week in class. But right now, just have fun and get timing. Timing is very important. It's not going to sound good if you're off time. So get the timing down, playing along with that. and you can have a lot of fun. Probably people like Matt won't even be in class next week because he'll still be in his room fooling around with this. So, and you can Skype in maybe, Matt, if that happens. So I'll see you all next Tuesday. Have a good weekend.